stories where we'll help you find your next read. I'm Jill.
And I'm Julie. And I know you've all seen the news lately on the big heist at the Louvre. So Jill and I are doing books today that feature heists. So Jill, kick us off.
My first book here is The Six of Crows. This is by Lee Bardugo that was published in 2015. And I didn't know this was about heists, but it is. This is the first in a series, so if you really enjoy it, you will have more to read after. Ketterdam, a bustling hub of international trade where anything can be had for the right price. And no one knows better than criminal prodigy Kaz Brecker. Kaz is offered a chance at a deadly heist that could make him rich beyond his wildest dream, but he can't pull it off alone. A convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as a wraith, a heartrender using her magic to survive the slums, a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes, 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. Kaz's crew is the only thing that might stand between the world and destruction if they don't kill each other first. So, Six of Crows is my first recommendation if you want to read about heists.
My first pick comes from Janet Ivanovich and Lee Goldberg. You're familiar with her from the Stephanie Plum novels, and Lee Goldberg is actually the television writer for Monk. And this is the first adventure in a series featuring an FBI agent who always gets her man and a fearless con artist who lives for the chase. And this is simply called The Heist. FBI Special Agent Kate O'Hare is known for her fierce dedication and discipline on the job, chasing down the world's most wanted criminals and putting them behind bars. Her boss thinks she is tenacious and ambitious. Her friends think she is tough, stubborn, and maybe even a bit obsessed. And while Kate has made quite a name for herself for the past 5 years, the only name she's cared about is Nicholas Fox, an international crook she wants in more ways than one. Audacious, handsome, and dangerously charming, Nicholas Fox is a natural con artist, notorious for running elaborate scams on very high-profile people. At first, he did it for the money. Now he does it for the thrill. He knows that the FBI has been hot on his trail, particularly Kate O'Hare, who has been watching his every move. For Nick, there's no greater rush than being pursued by a beautiful woman, even one who aims to lock him up. But just when it seems that Nicholas Fox has been captured for good, he pulls off his greatest con of all. He convinces the FBI to offer him a job, working side by side with Special Agent Kate O'Hare. So, got to check out this book, see how this all turns out, see if O'Hare and Fox don't kill each other, working side by side. The Heist by Janet Ivanovich and Lee Goldberg. This was published this year.
Wow. This one is a true story, actually. This is The Big Heist, the real story of the Lufthansa heist, the mafia, and murder by Anthony DiStefano. This was published back in 2017. One of the biggest scores in mafia history, the Lufthansa Airlines heist of 1978 has become the stuff of mafia legend and decades-long investigation that continues to this day. Pulitzer Prize-winning reporter Anthony DiStefano sheds new light on this legendary unsolved case using evidence from the 2015 trial of an 80-year-old mafia Don Vincent Asaro, who for the first time speaks out on his role in the fateful Lufthansa heist. I should have figured out how to say that before we recorded this. This blistering "you are there" account takes you behind the headlines and inside the ranks of America's infamous crime families with never before told stories, late-breaking news, and bombshell revelations. New details on the heist planning, who was involved, how they pulled it off, and what really happened to the almost $6 million in cash and jewels they stole from the JFK airport. Why suspected heist participant Vincent Asaro was found not guilty of all charges, racketeering, theft, and murder, even after being observed by the FBI for more than 3 decades. The shocking discovery of human bones in a Queens home, belonging to a relative of Jimmy Burke, the homicidal Luchesse crime family associate who assembled the Lufthansa heist team and masterminded the caper, then the biggest cash robbery in American history. The eye-opening testimony of gangsters turned informants Salvador Vital and Gaspar Valenti, and what reveals about the mafia code of the silence known as omerta. The greed, betrayal, murder, and other frightening insights into the Bonanno and Luchesse crime families. Disturbing claims about how some members of the NYPD leaked information to mobster Jimmy Burke and may have helped hide evidence of the mob murder's victim's demise. This is an invaluable addition to any crime library and a true crime read for those hungry for details about a heist. So there you go, The Big Heist.
My second pick is Master Thieves, the Boston gangsters who pulled off the world's greatest art heist. This was published back in 2015. In a secret meeting in 1981, a low-level Boston thief gave career gangster Ralph Rossetti the tip that the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum was a big score waiting to happen. Though its collections included priceless artworks by Rembrandt, Vermeer, Degas, and others, its security system was cheap, mismanaged, and out of date. And now it seemed the whole Boston criminal underworld knew it. Nearly a decade passed before the museum was finally hit. But when it finally happened, the theft quickly became one of the most infamous art heists, and the 13 works of art valued at up to $500 million by some of the most famous artists in the world were taken. The Boston FBI took control of the investigation, but many years later, the case is still unsolved and the artwork is still missing. This author, one of the top investigative reporters in the country, had been working on the case for many years. In Master Thieves, he sheds new light on some of the Gardner's most abiding mysteries. Why would someone steal these paintings only to leave them hidden for over 25 years? And why, if one of the top crime bosses in the city knew about this score in 1981, did the theft happen in 1990? What happened in those intervening years? And what might all this have to do with Boston's notorious gang wars of the 1980s? So the author's reporting is responsible for some of the biggest breaks in this story, including a meticulous reconstruction of what happened at the museum that fateful night. Now, Masterful Thieves will reveal the identities of those he believes plotted the heist, the motive for the crime, and the details that the FBI has refused to discuss. So check out Master Thieves, the Boston gangsters who pulled off the world's greatest art heist.
Art. My next one is fiction. This is Portrait of a Thief by Grace DeLee. This was published in 2022. Ocean's 11 meets The Farewell in Portrait of a Thief, a lush lyrical heist novel inspired by the true story of a Chinese art vanishing from Western museums. History is told by the conquerors. Across the Western world, museums display the spoils of war, the conquest of colonialism, priceless pieces of art looted from other countries, kept even now. Will Chen plans to steal them back. A senior at Harvard, Will fits comfortably in his carefully curated roles. A perfect student, an art history major, and sometimes artist, the eldest son who has always been his parents' American dream. And when a mysterious Chinese benefactor reaches out with an impossible and illegal job offer, Will finds himself something else as well, the leader of a heist to steal back 5 priceless Chinese sculptures looted from the Beijing centuries ago. His crew is every heist archetype one can imagine. A con artist, Irene Chen, a public policy major at Duke who can talk her way out of anything, a thief, Daniel Lang, a pre-med student with a steady hands, just as capable of lockpicking as searching, a getaway driver, Lily Wu, an engineering major who races cars in her free time, a hacker, Alex Huang, an MIT dropout turned Silicon Valley software engineer. Each member of this crew has their own complicated relationship with China and the identity they've cultivated as Chinese Americans. But when Will asks, none of them can turn him down. Because if they succeed, they earn $50 million and a chance to make history. But if they fail, it will mean not just the loss of everything they've dreamed for themselves, but another thwarted attempt to take back what colonialism has stolen. So, Portrait of a Thief.
This one I totally picked just on the title. To Heist and to Hold by Christina Britton, published in September. A vigilante widow and a casino owner are both trying to bluff their way to a winning hand. Heloise Marlowe has always forged her own path. As a former blacksmith and fencing instructor, she wasn't going to sit around knitting after her husband died. The Wimpole Street Widow Society, a secret group dedicated to balancing the scales of justice, was a much better fit for her skills. Her newest mission: seduce the owner of the club Dionysus and gain access to the den's inner workings. She didn't mind putting her body on the line, but she wasn't prepared to gamble her heart. Ethan Sinclair has worked hard to clean up his club after the betrayal of his brother, but now rumors are swirling that his club is just as crooked as before. He won't let anyone destroy what he's built, so when Heloise starts poking around, he decides to go all in hopes that she'll show her hand. Enjoying her company is the easy part. Keeping himself from falling, that's a whole different card game.
Love the cover on that. So my next one is Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby. This was published in 2020. Beauregard Bug Montage, husband, father, honest car mechanic, but he was once known from North Carolina to the beaches of Florida as the best getaway driver on the East Coast, just like his father, who disappeared many years ago. After a series of financial calamities worsened by the racial prejudices of the small town he lives in, Bug reluctantly takes part in a daring diamond heist to solve his money problems and goes straight once and for all. However, when it goes horrifically wrong, he's sucked into a grimy underworld which threatens everything and everyone he holds dear. So, blacked up whistling. Heist gone wrong.
My fourth pick is another book called The Heist. This one's by Daniel Silva, a popular author at our library. This was published back in 2014. Gabriel Allen, master art restorer and assassin, returns in a spellbinding thriller from #1 best-selling author Daniel Silva. Gabriel Allen, art restorer and legendary spy, is in Venice when he receives an urgent call from the Italian police. The art dealer Justin Isherwood has stumbled upon a chilling murder scene and is being held as a suspect. The dead man is a fallen spy with a secret, a trafficker in stolen artwork, sold to a mysterious collector. To save his friend, Gabriel must track down the world's most iconic missing painting, Caravaggio's Nativity with St. Francis and St. Lawrence. Gabriel's mission takes him on an exhilarating hunt from Marseille and Corsica to Paris and Geneva, and finally to a private bank in Austria, where a dangerous man stands guard over the ill-gotten wealth of one of the world's most brutal dictators. This is actually the 14th book in the Gabriel Allen series, which begins with the book The Kill Artist. So, Daniel Silva fans, The Heist.
My next one is a classic, Michael Crichton. This is from 1975. Michael Crichton, The Great Train Robbery.
Oh, gosh.
This is the way heists were in the old days. Lavish wealth and appalling poverty live side by side in Victorian London, and Edward Pierce easily navigates both worlds. Rich, handsome, and ingenious, he charms the city's most prominent citizens even as he plots the crime of his century, the daring theft of a fortune in gold. But even Pierce could not predict the consequences of an extraordinary robbery that targets the pride of England's industrial and mighty steam locomotive. Based on the remarkable fact and alive with gripping suspense, surprise, and authenticity that are his trademarks, Michael Crichton's classic adventure is a breathtaking thrill ride that races along the tracks of steel at a breakneck speed. So, if you want to read about a train robbery, this might be
pick. My last pick is Heist Royale by Kavion Lewis, published last year. It's the high-stakes sequel to Thieves Gambit, and it's for fans of Jennifer Lynn Barnes and Allie Carter. It's been 6 months since the end of the Gambit. Instead of winning an impossible wish, Ross has the threat of her family's execution hanging over her head. Devereaux, the only person Ross thought she could trust, could wish the quest into oblivion at any time. Shockingly, despite his betrayal, Devereaux is still making a play for Ross's heart as the two work together, pulling jobs for the organization. But Ross has learned her lesson. A quest can only trust another quest. When Ross finds herself at the center of a power struggle within the organization, she sees her chance to change her fortunes. As a new deadly gambit develops for control of the criminal underworld, Ross strikes a risky deal to guarantee protection for herself and her family. In this final clash, Ross will square off against a ruthless opponent who will stop at nothing to seize power, and in their corner will be not only Devereaux, but his mother, who wants to destroy the quests at any cost. So the new gambit takes Ross and her crew into the intoxicating casinos of Monte Carlo and across treacherous snow-covered slopes in Antarctica as Ross competes against Devereaux in a fight for her life. Loyalties will be tested, backs will be stabbed, hearts will be broken. May the best thief win.
Well, if you've been enjoying the news from Paris and the Louvre heist and you are hungry for more, we hope we gave you some good ideas to read about other heists, fact and fiction.
Thank you for watching our video. You can find us on the Kimberly Public Library website, Facebook page, and YouTube channel. And for now, Jill and I are going to admire all the gems that we've got, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.